Welcome everyone to the City of Lebanon City Council Forum. We have 5 candidates for 4 spots on the City Council. They have all been provided with copies of our rules in advance of this, just to let everyone know. Each person is going to have 90 seconds for an opening statement. We're going to be asking individual questions, and then they'll be provided with time for a closing statement at the end. The order has been predetermined by alphabetical order with the first names, which is unusual, but we're going with it. And we're going to start with our opening statement with Councilman Brad Lamoureux.
Awesome. Thank you for serving us tonight, Judge, by facilitating this. My name is Brad Lamoureux. I'm a Christian conservative pro-life candidate running for re-election. Small business owner, husband of 29 years, father of 4, soon to be grandfather, which is really hard to believe. Can't believe I'm saying that. I'm way too young for that, but I don't have issues, I promise. It's been my pleasure to serve the city of Lebanon and the citizens over the last 4 years. And after tonight, I hope that you would consider voting for me and allowing me to serve for another 4 years. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lamoureux. Mr. James Norris, you're next.
Thank you. I am James Norris. I live at 664 Carson Drive here in Lebanon. A wise friend of mine said once, it is an honor and a privilege to serve Lebanon, to have the opportunity. He was talking to me in my capacity as a teacher at the time, and I certainly feel very strongly about that with regard to City Council as well. I have lived in Lebanon for over 65 years. I have the best foundation of any candidate to make judgments with regard to the city's future. And I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Norris. Councilman Matt Sellers.
Hello, I'm Matt Sellers, and I'm 37, and I've been privileged and honored to serve the city of Lebanon over the last 4 years. I'm a Christian and constitutional conservative, and father of a absolutely wonderful 7-year-old son, little Matt. I'm a pro-life candidate, and I've lived in Lebanon my whole life, so it's not just important for me to do what needs to be done for the city, but it's also it's my home, right? It's been my home my whole life. It's my family. I've got 70 family members that live in Lebanon, so it's obviously important because every decision that I make doesn't just impact the residents, but it impacts my family directly as well too. So I'm looking forward to the opportunity to serve in a few more years for the residents. So hopefully after tonight, you bless me with that honor as well. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilman, Mr. Cope.
My name is Mike Cope, and I am blessed to be married for 31 years to my wife, Kim. I've lived in Lebanon for 20 years, raised my 4 children here who have now blessed me with 4 grandchildren. I'm not quite up to that 70, but working fast. I love Lebanon. I think this is, I believe it's the best city in America, definitely the best city in Ohio, where we can raise our families, live the American dream. And in the last 4 years, I am running for re-election. I've endeavored to support that dream. I am a Christian, and those values do inform how I govern. I'm conservative, both fiscally, morally, conservative, traditional family values. It has been an honor and a blessing over the last 4 years to serve the residents of Lebanon, and I seek your vote. I want to serve longer, and would appreciate it. And I do want to thank Chamber and the group for putting this on tonight too.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Scott Norris.
Thank you. I also want to begin by thanking the Chamber for putting this on tonight. I really appreciate it. My name is Scott Norris. I'm a resident of Lebanon, Ohio. My wife, Terry, is beautifully looking at me right now, trying to keep me from being nervous. I was born and raised in Lebanon, graduated in 1978. I went to college at Taylor University. It's a Christian college in Upland, Indiana. moved to California and got my master's degree in marriage and family counseling, and lived out there for another 10 years and worked with the Department of Children's Services. We decided we wanted to move. We didn't pick Lebanon because of my familiarity with it. We picked it because it's the best city in the country, we feel, certainly in the state of Ohio. I resided there, like I said, for about 10 years. I met Terry there. We had our first child, Lindsay, who's a graduate of Lebanon also. We moved back here and had our second child, Jesse, who's also a graduate of Lebanon. I came to Lebanon to work at Community Mental Health Center, which is called Solutions now and is no longer in business. But I worked there 22 years and was the director of Kids and Children's and Family Services there. I oversaw programs for home-based therapy, child therapy, and family counseling, and our school-based program, which got me in and out of most of the schools in all of Warren County and a strong familiarity. After 22 years, I resigned, started my business, Scott Norris Homes, restoring homes and general contracting, which is my first love. Thank you very much. I appreciate having another 4 years and an opportunity to continue to serve Lebanon.
Thank you, sir. We're going to move along to the questions. The candidates have been provided with a list of questions, but they have not been provided with the order in which they will be asked. Mr. James Norris, we're going to start with you. In your opinion, what is the most important issue facing the city of Lebanon? And if elected, how do you plan to address it?
The issue the most important issue facing the city of Lebanon is the most important issue facing the city of Lebanon is development. Much evidence of that we can be thinking of here together out on 63 West. My thoughts with regarding development is that upon being on council, I would have the opportunity to participate in policy guidance with regard to development. I think this is the issue that most affected my decision to run again for council. And I have much more to say about that, and I will here as the evening progresses. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Sellers, in your opinion, what is the most important issue facing the city of Lebanon, and how do you plan to address it?
Well, I would say that one of the issues just last year we had a major challenge with the fire department, and council we worked together on finding a solution for that along with the citizens. So that was really a relief to be able to get that behind us. But I think now I would say it's the rapid surge in development requests, right? Lebanon is growing, it's booming. People want to live here in Lebanon. It's an amazing place, and it's just where everybody wants to be. But, we have to be able to, balance that with what makes Lebanon so attractive, right? So, now at the same time, we can't just say no to every development because, I'm a firm believer in private property. And, a landowner has the constitutional right to develop his own property if he wants to, right? So, but, I feel like our approach is kind of what we've done on council up to this point, and I feel like it's what we need to do going forward. It's use our existing building codes and zoning standards to sort of filter that through, right? It's expensive to build in Lebanon now, right? Because the standards are so high. So I think it's just basically about, using those standards and then letting the free market kind of come into play, make Lebanon attractive, and then let the free market do its thing.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Cope, same question.
I agree. It's the growth pressures, and it's managing those pressures. So the city of Lebanon several years ago, if you go on our website, you can see the Envision Lebanon master plan. It's a guiding document. It's what we as City Council follow to try to manage the growth. So we've got pressures on the north up above Miller. We've got the new development out on 63. So we all see the growth. A lot of feedback that I'll read is about the development that they see, but it is following our master plan that's been well thought out. I think one of the other things is downtown living. As I've driven through communities, you can see small towns been hollowed out with retail. One of those things is to get people back downtown to live. We've got our South Broadway development where we've have a contractor. We have a development agreement for additional housing downtown and to reactivate some land. We've got in Pleasant Park, we got those 20 townhomes going up right now. So and we changed our zoning codes to support small lot development. I know it's kind of wonky, but ancillary structures. So giving people freedom to do things with smaller buildings on their property. So those are a few ways that we can help control, monitor growth, get people downtown, and follow our master plan with development outside the city.
Thank you. Councilman Norris, same question. If, in your opinion, what is the most important issue facing the city of Lebanon? And if reelected, how do you plan to address it?
I'm going to state three, but I'm only going to talk about one. And I feel that three things are very important to the city. Coming up will be the fairgrounds issue, the 94 acres that sits right in the middle of our community, and the direction that we take there. Also, a building of a new police station. It'll be a very a needed service that we need to provide our police. But most importantly is growth management. People want to move to Lebanon, and individuals have a right to sell their properties to developers. And as Councilman Cope said, we're following a master plan that was set out years ago and moving along with that. However, we can control to a great extent many aspects of that development through density and building standards. And over these last 4 years, we've greatly increased our building standards and what we're having developers have to do in order to build in the community, which is sometimes a deterrent just in that matter. The majority of us moved here at one point and came for the same reason, and others want to come for that same reason. They want to live in Lebanon because it's a great community, and we're trying to figure the best way to allow growth and without it overcrowding and overpopulating Lebanon to a great extent. I'll continue to push standards that will best benefit our community members as we face inevitable growth in the future. 4 years ago, my comment was, I'm not no growth, but I manage growth. I do feel people have a right to come to Lebanon and property owners have a right to sell their land, but we have to have a team approach in doing it in the best manner.
Thank you. Councilman Lamoureux, same question.
I appreciate my colleagues' points, and I agree with those as well as far as the land rights and that sort of thing. One thing that was, I don't believe has been mentioned yet, is we have a matching grant for our downtown buildings for the second floor for remodel to flip those into bed and breakfast or not bed and breakfast, VRBO, not bed and breakfast, that probably wouldn't work too well, but the VRBO and then extended living. And I think that that has been underutilized, and that is, I think that would help. But I guess the main point that I wanted to talk about was maintaining our current standard of living. We've lowered property taxes. We try to pay cash for a lot of our purchases. Staff has done a wonderful job seeking out grants. I'm the Lebanon representative to the OKI board, and we had our quarterly meeting this last week. OKI is Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana, and there's 8 counties. We get together and we lobby the federal government on behalf of our small communities and townships for bridges, for roads, for bike trails, a lot of infrastructure, mostly infrastructure stuff. And we, Lebanon, we were just awarded 3 of our grants, 3 of our requests for $2.4 million. That's an 80% match. So we only have to come up with 20%. So we're trying to do different things like that to, thank you. I'll stop right there. I don't want to make you mad.
Thank you, sir. We'll move on to our next question, starting with Councilman Sellers. It was brought up about the fairgrounds. We are on the Warren County Fairgrounds in the Event Center tonight. And it is anticipated that the city of Lebanon is going to purchase this 94-acre parcel from the county. If that does happen, what do you think is the best use of this property?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I think it is about protecting a piece of Lebanon's heart. You know, what's always been the focus should remain the focus, and that's the Warren County Fair, right? You know, the 4-H exhibits, the livestock shows, the you know, the rides. I mean, I've pretty much every year of my life I've attended the Warren County Fair, and my son, you know, every year for 7 years he looks forward to Fair Week. So I understand the criticality and the importance of maintaining that and enhancing that. You know, I also think that, you know, as you know, Mr. Norris has mentioned that, you know, there's a need for a police department. So I think there is a great opportunity for us to take a little parcel of that land and develop a new police department. I mean, they've got the most difficult job in the community, and that's protecting the entire community. So they obviously need the resources at their fingertips to be able to do their job effectively. But, you know, I think there's also some opportunities limited for some redevelopment, but ultimately it just comes down to enhancing the experience for the community of what the fairgrounds has always been, the centerpiece of Lebanon. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Cope. Same question.
Sure, and I think the question, a little bit of the question needs to be rephrased because it's not best use. It is, we have to think of this as multi-use. So we just had our kickoff, and I'm on the committee for the master planning of this property. And I'm going to say property, I'm going to say campus, because this is really campus, the way I think of it. So it has got many multiple uses. Ag Society with the fair, now think about it, that's only 1 week a year. So we've got to protect the historic fair. We've got the Ohio Harness Horsemen Association here with their training facility. We got 4-H, the Ohio State Ag Extension, and all those 4-H events and things like that. The little racetrack back here, campground, the event center. So all of these, Apple Fest. So all of these things, it's multi-use. What I want to see in the planning committee is that it's likely going to be some commercial development out front because we have to figure out a way to stabilize the groups that are here financially and to give them the breathing room they need to do to be organized to succeed. The city is not going to be an open checkbook for this. We're going to figure out how to partner with all the groups. We're going to figure out how to stabilize things so that they can do what they do best. Some city amenities are probably would seem like it would fit in this area. But it's about partnership and creating stability for the groups here.
Thank you, Councilman Norris. If this parcel that we're standing on, you're sitting on right now, is transferred to the city of Lebanon, what do you think should be done with it?
I'm currently also on the steering committee that has been put in place towards the best use of the property. And also when we say fairgrounds, that means a lot to to a variety of people. Some people think of the fairgrounds as the fair. Some people think it as the racetrack, and we think of it as Councilman Cope said, as more of a campus, as a large entity with different facets. The opportunities are endless, and discussion has taken place on a purposeful plan is being developed if the city takes over the land. I feel, one, the fair remains and gets better. It gets back to the fair that was possibly years ago with some input and some direction that we can provide. The horsemen maintain a presence and resource at the fairgrounds. They've been a part of Lebanon in this fair since the fair was created. We want to continue to support them. Property can be transformed into a more reflective of Lebanon's beauty. Right now, it just is a parking lot and a couple buildings is what it looks like from Broadway. When you enter Lebanon, we want to make it look more like a continuous part of Lebanon. A well-thought-out plan for the land along Broadway that would produce revenue and be useful to the community as well. Integrating other land use projects that would better use the property rather than a large parking lot that it sits most of the days empty. Possibly using some of the land for a future police station as well. The committee is currently in discussion what we could backfill in those areas. And remember, Lebanon doesn't own the land yet.
Councilman Lambro, your compatriot here, Councilman Norris, is correct. Nothing has been completed, but there's a lot of discussion about it, and I think talks have advanced. If they go forward, what do you think this land should become?
I think I would agree with the multi-use approach. I first and foremost, the 4-H program. I was in 4-H for 11 years, along with my brother and my sister, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful memories and the information that we learned and the work ethic. It was just a great time of my life. So we want to continue that. Obviously, the fair. I love going to the fair. It's a great time to bring everybody together in the community and celebrate our roots. I think the Harness Association definitely has a place as well, and that's something we're working with them. The buildings to the north of us need a ton of work, and so we're reviewing all that with all the interested parties to try to figure out how to put this together. And then lastly, I believe that there's definitely an investment opportunity out here on Broadway with the few acres that are out there. We need a way. We don't want all the taxpayers to have to pay for all this. So we want a way to where we can fund this, make it nice, something we're proud of, and definitely beautify the property, and then open it up more for other uses like this building right here.
Thank you. Mr. Norris, same question.
Thank you. When the state approved the Racino, a new page began for Lebanon, being the home of the fairground. The integration of what currently exists that I'm hearing we will be maintaining should all this come to pass. The horse industry, the event center, the track kitchen. But one element that I would just add, since we're all pretty much saying the same thing, one element I might add is that planners on the future with regard to the fairground consider the sky with regard to the possibilities of premier events. Can this become a showplace? Other places are. Ohio, Kentucky, horse country. Why can't Lebanon? So I would say while we're real early, we don't even own the property yet. While we're real early in the discussion, be sure that one's in there too. How high can we go with regard to developing grounds and amenities that would support a premier event? Thank you.
Thank you. We will stick with our growth theme, and we'll move on to Councilman Cope for our third question. The City of Lebanon has a need for hotel beds. What action do you believe the city needs to take to secure hotel beds?
Hotel developers are a pretty tricky, finicky, difficult group. They do not want to lead development. They don't want to be the first building in a development. They want to follow growth and see other successful developments around. So it's been tricky. We've entertained and spoke with boutique hotels. I've personally solicited and tried to promote Lebanon to a developer. We have been on the cusp because of our demographics. 5 years ago, we had almost 45%. It was in the mid-40s. I don't exactly remember. Multifamily rental properties versus family-owned. We have been slowly changing that demographic, so that it's in the 30s now and in the 70s for family-owned. So what that does is it helps us with our median income. It makes it more attractive. Those are the type of metrics that hotel developers. I will say that we are actively and excitedly close to some positive results in this area, and just leave it at that. So hopefully this will be addressed here within the next 4 years.
Thank you. Councilman Norris, same question.
Hotels, I have been taking pictures for the last 4 years. everywhere I go of a successful hotel in a community that's similar to Lebanon. Portsmouth has a building that was located across from a wedding venue, and Portsmouth's very similar to Lebanon. In Nashville, they have revitalized certain neighborhoods where my daughter goes to work, and microtels have been put in place. That's been the push. I've also learned that hotels are very expensive, and they want traffic. They want people to come. They want to be used. We're just on the brink of being too far from two freeways that get an enormous amount of traffic. We own land. We can put something out closer to the freeway, but we want something in Lebanon, close to Lebanon. Our big line is just one of our, the park out on Green Tree. Thousands and thousands of people attend there for 2 and 3 day sporting events, and we say they all turn right, which is Mason. And we're trying to get them to turn left. So it's been on the forefront. We've offered some city land, 2 locations, one downtown, one just outside the city, for sale, and have hired a real estate agent to seek out potential prospects. Name brands haven't bit yet, but some other innovative ways to get a motel into the community they have. So our goal, I think, over the next 4 years is to have something established and placed in Lebanon.
Thank you. Councilman Lamoureux, what action do you believe the city needs to take to secure hotel beds?
I know the city's reached out to several developers. In fact, we had the city performed a comprehensive study on tourism here about 24 months ago, something like that. And I think the answer, or my interpretation, was we're just not quite there yet. I believe we need a hotel. I ran into a developer. I serve on a board out of state with, no one cares about that. But long and short of it is, I ran into a developer from Chicago, and he loves small towns. In fact, his college roommate was from Loveland, and they've eaten at the Golden Lamb a lot. And he's like, I love Lebanon. And so we connected. I got his information, sent it to the city, and he's like, you're just not quite there yet. Which I don't know what quite there means, but I know that the desire is to solicit developers to try to entice them to look at our downtown, look at east of here, north of here, south, so on and so forth. I think that I was here at Oktoberfest, and I see all the people that came into town, and it's like, man, if there's a way to where these people would stay overnight and shop here and dine here and buy gas here and so on and so forth, our businesses would benefit from that.
Thank you. Mr. Norris, same question regarding hotel beds.
It's very true. Geography plays a very major part with regard to Lebanon's development issues. We're kind of like on the east end. You just look east, and we've got, a lot of cornfields. We've got Fort Ancient. We've got a lot of beautiful rural land. And I do some Uber driving, and there are, as I drive around, a lot of hotels that have sprung up in Kings Island, I-75, you know where they are. And they're closer. But as far as one here, we're hearing up here various comments. I concur with regard to why one hasn't come here yet. We're kind of at the B&B level, Airbnb level, the bed and breakfast level. I am curious, not sitting in on council deliberations in recent years, what enhancements the city can offer in this area. How hotel taxes could possibly benefit us with regard to if we had enhancements, a hotel was here, and then what kind of revenue might come to supplant or to offset other expenses we would have in their development or that development. But to this point, we're not quite there. We're awfully close. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to our next question, and now we're going to have some questions about our individual candidates. Start with you, Councilman Norris. What community groups are you involved with?
You missed one candidate. on
Oh,
hotel.
I'm sorry, Councilman Sellers.
Thank you.
I did that last time. You can throw something at me if I do that again.
All right.
What does
got
the
a
city
got the
need to
cell phone.
do to to secure hotel beds?
Well, the beautiful thing about going last is you get to regurgitate everything everybody else said. But no, we are actively looking and working directly with developers right now. I personally find a little more value in a boutique style hotel. I feel like it fits Lebanon's charm a little bit more so than the big tall block buildings that would stick over the skyline. But as mentioned by several members here tonight, is our difficulty and the challenge is location. While it is a blessing to be right between Cincinnati and Dayton and right between 71 and 75, not necessarily for developers, right? They're looking for property right off the exit, and we're not really there. So, I think we are it's just about continuously bringing developers into our chambers and having those conversations, seeing what it is we can do to, entice them, whether it's, tax benefits, whether it's, zoning adjustments, whatever it is that we need to do. But ultimately, it's sort of the same thing as I mentioned before. I think our job as a council is continue to make Lebanon and as attractive as possible for the free market to do its job. Everybody wins that way, especially the citizens of Lebanon.
Thank you very much. Now I'll get to you, Councilman Norris. What community groups are you involved in or with, and why are you involved with them?
Thank you. Being on the city council takes up the majority of my free time, and that is probably the largest community group that I'm involved with. That has opened doors for many subcommittees that I sit on as well. So that takes up the majority of my time. I'm also on the board of the Warren County Historical Society. My love of history, that's a good fit for me. It's a working board, so not only do you get to go to meetings, you get to work on the museum as well. I'm a current member of the Warren County Career Center Advisory Committee. Although I haven't attended in the last couple of years, being a licensed therapist, I sit and work with the counselors on establishing program there. I am the president of one HOA and a board member on another, and believe it or not, I did that on purpose. I do like that. My wife and I have also started a ministry called Reset. It's a new ministry where we assist residents who are in need and facing code violations by using my connections as a contractor to help people fix their homes or do something that maybe they can't afford. We go in and hire our own contractors to go and make the repairs so they can take care of their code violations. I'm involved with these groups for my love of history. The Warren County Career Center, it keeps me involved where I'm able to work with the school kids, which is what I did most of my career. I like working with teams, and working and being on the HOAs allows me to assist in keeping property values good and the buildings in order. Resets allows us to use the gifts that God has given to me and my wife and to help others in their time of need.
Thank you. Councilman Lamoureux.
Thank you. I'm a passionate supporter of Trail Life USA. I'm a parent leader. That's a Christian conservative group that meets here on the south side of town. And it's basically a group of fathers and grandfathers that work with their sons and grandsons. We're looking to build these boys into men, teaching them about family, church, and community. We do things like study our founding generation, camp, hike, look for an opportunity to serve. So Scott, we may need to talk about that foundation you've started. I guess for an example, in the last 2 years, we raised money and planted over 600 trees out in Miller Park as part of the reforesting program out there. And then we have 3 of our older boys, and it starts at age 5 and goes up to age 18. We have 3 of our older boys right now that are chasing their Freedom Award, which is similar to Eagle Scouts, but it's broader in what they do. But that work is going to result in projects for our town. So they do everything from fire pits to orienteering courses to building small pavilions or bulletin boards on bike trails and that sort of thing. So really passionate about that. It's been a whole bunch of fun, except for the camping in the rain. That's overrated.
I think it's properly rated. It's not good. Not good. Mr. Norris, what community groups are you involved with, and why are you involved with them?
Thank you. I made the point when we started the evening that my basis and my foundational appeal with regard to being a council member and that I'm best qualified is that I have a 65-year perspective on Lebanon, moving here as a young child in the area, and then outside of going to college, I've lived in Lebanon for many decades. During that time, 37 school years, I was involved as a teacher, coach, and a number of other positions that I held in the schools. And then I've served on city council for 4 terms, from 01 to 16. I can remember when, speaking of perspective with regard to those many decades, I remember when Broadway and Columbus Avenue were 2-lane roads. And so I have a very strong feeling with regard to decisions council has made and the master plan with regard to how we're using this road right out here with regard to North Broadway, how it's being designed, the reasons for the design and so forth. Because I remember the tremendous joy that we had when we went to 4 lanes 50-some years ago, 60-some years ago. And I'd like to blend in with regard to my statement on schools and that's my professional life. I am very, very aware, and I haven't heard this addressed here this evening, with regard to our position on development, and it seems to be reactionary. It seems, and I'll come back to that point. I'll pick up with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Sellers, what community groups are you involved with and why?
Well, I'm involved with the Warren County Republican Party. I was elected by my neighbors to serve as a central committee member there. The why is, pretty simple. I believe in limited government and personal freedom. I think I believe in the Republican form of government that, keeps decision making close to home and, to its citizens. And I believe not only has those principles made America a great place to live, but also the city of Lebanon. I'm also on the board of directors for a nonprofit called Mary's Bridge, and what their mission is essentially giving people opportunity to a second life. They come out of prison, and it gives them an opportunity to help them find a new job, get back on their feet, a place to live, recontribute to society. It's it's a great reminder that mercy and accountability can kind of go hand in hand there. So it's really cool to see the impact and that mission has done. Like I mentioned before, I've got a 7-year-old boy, and therefore he loves sports, and I'm involved with the youth sports programs, specifically basketball and baseball. And when given an opportunity, I try to help out and volunteer for the Chamber of Commerce with some of their festivals when able to.
Thank you. Councilman Cope.
Well, I'll somewhat selfishly admit I've been trying to pull back with, in about 18 months, having 4 grandchildren all of a sudden, so life is moving pretty fast right now, which is exciting, very exciting. But City Council takes a lot of time, and so that's one of my primary, obviously. And I'm on the Warren County Foundation Civic Fund, and proud to be a part of that to help the community. And then recently, I did step into to the Fair Board master planning, and so we've started those meetings. So I have tried to limit and to make family, which is one of my most important things, central in my life.
Thank you. Councilman Lamoureux, I want to ask you about an initiative that you would support. I'm going to reference what Mayor Messer said a few years ago about the statue down by the train station and Broadway by the railroad tracks, and how he loved that and loved that for the city of Lebanon. If elected, name one small project or initiative you support that may not make a splashy headline, but that you will advocate for as a member of council.
I think my primary focus is going to be on the hotel. I would really love to see something done with the shoe factory. I think that is just an amazing location down there, and I would love to see that. Fortunately, I don't own that, so I really, we have to work with a private developer on that. I believe there's several good spots. My wife and I, we have family in the four corners of America, and they're traveling into town, and we're blessed. We have an extra bedroom now that my son moved out. I mean, that's not a blessing. I mean, it's good that he moved out. So don't take that the wrong way. He's probably not going to listen, but just in case. So we do have an extra bedroom now, but it would be nice. We have a lot of siblings. I have 95 cousins and aunts and uncles, and they're constantly burning up 71 and 75 going to different things. And, we're a revolving door. So it'd be great to have a hotel to try to figure out how to keep some of those visitors from the sports complex to the downtown festivals here in town.
Thank you. Mr. Norris.
I would support, after very close discussion and talking with, because I know of their work and I know they've made a lot of efforts in this area. After very close discussions and continuing discussions with the YMCA, what else can the city do with regard to recreational opportunities for our citizens, and particularly the children? I know of a project that we talked about, it's got to be now many years ago when I was on council, as a recreational opportunity for kids that one excuse or another never happened. And I know the Y does a lot of things with scholarships and so forth, but I certainly have a strong feeling with regard to that area. Another area I'd like to throw out is, what else could the city do with technology to making our city smarter and increasing quality of life for citizens and tourists? I am not an expert in that area, but there are people who are, and I do have some examples in my mind of opportunities lost or not carried out as well as they should have been years ago in this area. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Sellers.
I'd like to specifically look into easing some maybe unnecessary local regulations when it comes to telling citizens what they can and can't do with their local property, right, with their private property. I mean, that is literally a cornerstone principle that our country was founded on. I mean, it's in the Declaration of Independence, for goodness sake. So, I feel like easing up regulations, it gives families, independence, stability, and pride and ownership. And I feel like that's something pretty much everybody here would like to see. I just think we need a simpler, more trusting approach. Our default, needs to be freedom and not permission. And this isn't just a Lebanon issue. This is a national issue. Now, while I'm really proud of some of the progress we've made on council over the last few years with some of the things we've done, I feel like there's greater opportunity. And like I said, this is a national issue, and Lebanon has been leading the way for many things over the last so many years. So I feel like this is another opportunity that we can lead the way on. It just comes down to trusting our citizens and not micromanaging them.
Thank you very much. Councilman Cope, same question. What is a project or an initiative that we may not have talked about that is important to you for the city?
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Life and the dignity of life is important to me. That's why I wear this right here. And I would say, for an example, initiative we did the baby box at the fire department, and that saved a baby. A woman in a difficult situation dropped her baby off, and that was just in December of last year, December of 24. Or whether supporting and working with Elizabeth New Life Center, where they help women in difficult pregnancies. Family Promise here in Warren County. What great organization for homelessness. So I work in the senior living industry. So I think of the dignity of life from preborn to as a senior. It spans all of that, and so I'm passionate about it. And it doesn't get, matter of fact, sometimes it's controversial, which is unbelievable. But I do. I'm an advocate for the dignity of life, preborn until you're in the grave.
Thank you, Councilman Norris. What is a project or initiative that you would advocate for?
I would advocate for the continuing to support the existing grassroots programs that are out there already through any means that we can, from the city through grants, through utility reductions. We have many, many organizations that Mike mentioned a few that are already serving, and I would want to, and that often goes behind the scenes, but the city does support many, many organizations. One of my passions is small lot development. It's not very splashy, but it also would allow us to use some of the bigger lots that are in Lebanon in creating smaller homes. The only way we're doing smaller, affordable homes now is they've got to be smaller and they've got to fit on smaller lots. So we've currently done some code and zoning revisions that's already in the works and has happened, allowing for certain areas of Lebanon to build where homes can be built on smaller lots. The rezoning is a task. It has to be done fairly, and so we're not overcrowding and we're not making it inappropriate. Again, that's where our building standards come into play. I'm imagining not tiny homes, but smaller homes. When people think tiny homes, they think of trailers, and it's smaller homes. I've done a lot of research. I have many plans on my own desk trying to go through what would fit Lebanon's structure. There's just so many things in Lebanon that can be worked on. Beetle Cabin was one of my most favorite jobs that I got to work on downtown, leaving a legacy for others to see and work that I've done.
Thank you very much. We will shift back to you, Mr. Norris. Why are you the best candidate to run for Lebanon City Council?
I think that I have demonstrated with regard to many years of being on organizations. I was on the Solutions Recovery and Counseling Board for over 40 years, on the Historical Society Board for over 30 years. And that's because I think it's a strength I have in collaborating. I also, as a candidate, bring to this audience and the voters no agenda, no labels. We've heard that tonight. I have no labels. I take nobody's money, no money from any group. I listen to no power broker. I am very, very keenly aware, and I appreciate the word Constitution being used here this evening, of our own city charter, that this is a non-partisan race. The labels that are utilized there's reasons they are, and I'm sure we all have an idea as to why that is. I feel very strongly with regard to what the Charter sets out for us to give attention to. Safety, development of the city, and the promoting of the city's businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Sellers.
Well, I mean, I would say that I fight for the principles that I feel truly matter: faith, family, and freedom. And I don't just fight on them; I stand on them. And I believe in the American cornerstone principles of limited government, personal freedom, and God-given rights. I think also I've, over the past 4 years, I've shown the ability to help improve the standard of living for the people here in Lebanon. We've lowered property taxes because, again, that paycheck is yours. It's not the government's. We've paid debt off early, saving taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars, giving them a little bit of an ROI back on the money they're investing in this community. We've cut electric costs through smart and local energy. We're not knocking on the federal government's door for help in that regard. I've stood for the most basic human principle, yet most key human principle in existence, and that's life. And I believe that the majority of Lebanon citizens would agree with me on that. We've seen improvements in our roads, and I believe in keeping Lebanon strong, free, and rooted in American principles. While I'm not perfect, I feel like I'm proven at this point.
Thank you. Councilman Cope, why are you the best candidate to run for Lebanon City Council?
I'll rephrase that. I don't know that I like the best label, certainly highly qualified, but I'm not afraid of labels. If I'm going to call myself a conservative Christian, I'm proud to be considered a conservative Christian. Labels oftentimes help to encapsulate thoughts and ideas. And so my personal integrity is pegged to that. I'm held accountable. I'm not going to lie to people. I'm not going to mislead people. If I make mistakes, I'm going to own up to it. So that label should encapsulate that, and I live up to that standard, or I try to live up to that standard. Family, friends, I've now been on council for 5 years, a little over 5 years, because I was appointed for a little over a year and then ran for re-election and won that. So fiscally, I'm conservative. So my faith informs my conservative values, and what does that mean? I'm fiscally conservative, believe in traditional family values, believe in freedom. I wish I could articulate like Mr. Sellers can at times, as the First Amendment. The freedoms that we have, I will stand for those. With people that I don't agree with, I will make sure that I stand for that. So I think I'm a highly qualified candidate. We'll get into work experience, and that I think my work experience fits well for the kind of decisions that we're facing in Lebanon, and that's it.
Thank you. Councilman Norris.
First off, I too want to announce my label that I am a conservative Christian. I'm very proud of it. My faith drives my decisions. I moved to Lebanon because of its conservative nature. I chose that. I wasn't forced here. I could have gone anywhere in America I wanted to. I lived on a coast. I turned around and said, which way? And we found Lebanon. And for 33 years, I've been here, and I'm proud to be here. My years as a Lebanon student or citizen has only encouraged my love of this community, so much that I did travel 3,000 miles to be here. My father operated a business here. I operate a business here. I raised my children here. We're 3 generations of Lebanon people here, and I'm proud of that. My interests and decisions not only affect the community that I serve, but they also affect me. Everything I vote for, everything I run through has a direct impact on me as a Lebanon citizen. I think through each decision how it would affect the Lebanon community, including me. I feel I know Lebanon, enjoying working to make it even better community than it already is.
Thank you. Councilman Lamoureux.
First of all, I am a Christian who is conservative and pro-life. A small business owner of 25 years. I actually moved my business here because I love Lebanon. And that actually increased my taxes because I wasn't paying taxes before then. Anyway, that's my staff reminds me of that. I want to see our local families and business succeed, and I think this benefits the community. I believe a rising tide raises all ships. I've raised my family here, all 4 of our kids, and it's awesome because my kids, when they go away to college, they want to bring their friends back home. I believe that great communities attract great families. And Lebanon's full of great families, and I'm asking for your vote so that I can continue to serve with my colleagues on City Council and continue and work with staff and try to continue to make this a great place to live, work, and worship.
Thank you. We're now going to have our last question of the evening. We're going to start with Councilman Sellers. How do you plan to work with and collaborate with other council members who may disagree with you on a particular issue?
When I saw this question, honestly, it was kind of sad when I saw this question because I feel like this is where we've gotten to as a society where this is a concern. For me, it's about listening and respect, right? Like, we're not going to always agree on everything, regardless if we are, have the same political ideology or the same political, affiliation. I mean, we're going to have times where we disagree. We see it on council. I see it on council all the time. We have different perspectives. It's just a matter of understanding why we're there. We're there to serve the great people of Lebanon, right? It doesn't matter who gets the credit. It doesn't matter who comes up with the idea. It's a matter of being respectful to each other and understanding that egos get pushed aside because we need to do what's best and improve the standard of living for the community. I feel like if we keep this in mind and we focus our decisions on what matters, and that's facts, faith, and freedom, then everything's going to be fine, and the people of Lebanon will be just fine.
Councilman Cope.
Before my question starts, there was one question about experience. Are we not doing that question?
We are not, unless you want to stay here till
Nope.
9:30.
No, I just want to make sure and hit a couple points in. Thank you. So
You can certainly address that in your closing if you choose to do so.
Oh, good point. Okay. So we have a very collaborative approach right now on city council. So moving forward, it's not going to be any different. We debate, we disagree, but you don't have to be disagreeable. You don't have to be hateful about it. It's the way I approach just life, because life's hard enough without having to argue and make enemies all the time, right? So I'm a team builder. Just on the experience side, I work with campuses. I manage construction projects and developments around the state of Ohio, senior living campuses. That's why I said I'm in senior living. And so you can imagine I got to develop teams, work with teams, develop teams of architects, engineers, contractors, work with city, municipality, all over the state. So council's no different. Your family's no different. I mean, you have to build teams and figure out how to work with people. You listen and then offer your opinion. And sometimes other people's informed opinions need to change your mind. You need to be willing to do that. That's the atmosphere we have with city council. And I look forward to hopefully next 4 years to be able to work through that system again.
Thank you. Councilman Norris, how do you plan to work with and collaborate with other council members who may disagree with you on a particular issue?
I have decades of experience.
I think we're going to go with Councilman Norris,
Thank you.
and then we'll go around that way. So hold that thought.
Thank you.
I put a lot of thought into this one, so I'm going to read some of this, and I apologize for that. But this was probably, I was going to say my most favorite question, but it was also one that I really wanted to make it clear. I said, there's a term on social media that has been used as a poor assumption of how this city council operates, and that word is groupthink. The definition of groupthink is the practice of making decisions as a group that discourages creativity or individual responsibility. I can tell you as a group, yes, we do think, but the 7 of us come at agenda items from different angles based on his or her own experience, are educating ourselves on the matter and discussion. We are presented with many opportunities from city staff to assist them in directing them, using their input research to help make our decisions before we vote. At the end of lengthy discussions, debate, and input from each of us, we then vote. And yes, it's often unanimous, but not because anyone was discouraged to express their views, but encouraged to do so. From there, a vote is taken. To the outsider, it may look like we just approve items, but in actuality, hours and days have been spent in conversation and research ourselves to shape the item to what we as 7 feel is best for this city. I personally handle disagreements by taking time to contact the person in discussion and making sure I understand their viewpoint. Sometimes I get change, and sometimes I change. But I can promise you, no one is discouraged to express their individual opinion and backing for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Lamoureux. How do you plan to work with and collaborate with other council members who may disagree with you on a particular issue?
I think there's a verse in the Bible that says, without vision, people fail, or some translations, people perish. And I think that's one of the things. We all have the same goal. We want to see our businesses thrive. We want to see our families thrive. We want to see our schools succeed. I think if you come to our work sessions, you'll get to see firsthand. We discuss ideas. We wrestle with ideas. We ask questions. and to Councilman Norris's point, sometimes we just agree to disagree, and we do it respectfully. But we all know that the other person is coming with the idea of how is this going to best serve our country, or not our country, forgive me, our community. Speaking of our work sessions is where a lot of the comments are made. A lot of times the stuff is hashed out in work session before it gets to council. So the council meetings are not as lively, I should say. So one of the things that I would, if you're not able to come, you can go to the city website. And you can follow. There's a link on the city website to where you can go and all of our work sessions, all of our city council meetings are archived there, so you can go back and you can listen, and it's really informative, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, we can agree to disagree respectfully.
All right, thank you very much. And Mr. James Norris.
Thank you. I was saying out of turn there. I'll come back to that thought. Collaboration for me is an understanding that what I want to say may not be the most important thing, or even needed. This skill, I believe I have refined. I don't think council would have any concern whatsoever in me joining this board. I fit with regard to discussion, and having again, no labels, no agenda, no one I'm answering to, using my own money for my campaign. I also want to point out this council has not let me on council twice that I applied, and the lack of the tone that I saw in the last council meeting, watching the video the other night, with regard to the total tone of the meeting, with regard to the 7, and I won't use the term that's been objected to that we use here this evening, to not be using it. I'm not using it. But the group mentality I can fit into, and I want to assure the voters that I would. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our questioning. Now each candidate will have 2 minutes for a closing statement to the voters. We will start with you, Councilman Cope.
I do ask for and would appreciate your vote. It would be an honor to continue for another 4 years serving the people of Lebanon. And I do want to touch on, just make sure on my experience, because I really do feel like it fits well. I mentioned already that I work in senior living, so I've had 30 years in commercial construction, building campuses, college campuses, schools, infrastructure, highway, sanitary sewer, the type of things that healthcare, hospitals, the type of infrastructure that cities need. And in the last 13 years, I'm senior director for construction and facility management. As I mentioned, 6 campuses around the state. So my work experience fits well with the type of decisions that come before the city. It fits well and gives me insight. I understand what developers need in order to have a successful development, which is what we want, without taking advantage. I understand what the city needs to see for developments for the city to be successful. So that balance, I can weigh those different interests, so I would appreciate your vote. I'm not sure how to. I don't get on social media much, so I'm not sure about the groupthink. But I can assure you, I would not have come out in supporting the current city council members that are running for re-election, because I know the type of character and the quality of the individuals, and that there is no groupthink. That's surprising to hear that. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilman Norris.
That's okay.
This one? Me? Thank you. I do appreciate the opportunity tonight to introduce myself to you and those watching. I would also ask for your vote so I can continue to serve for another 4 years. I'm 65, so I'm going 4 years at a time. I'm not predicting past that. It's been an honor to serve with the other 6 council members, not only the 3 that are up here with me, but the other 3 as well, the men and women that have served and witnessed their passion for our community. Most of us own businesses or have family members that own businesses in this town. That is a great benefit because, as I said earlier, our decisions that we make or supply directly affect us. A tax increase, a tax decrease, land usage, how zoning is done, we're all affected by that in many ways. And we all bring our experience from our businesses into council. Most of us have many years in Lebanon, so we've been a part of, some of us went to school here, played football here, played different sports, had children that went here. They're involved in other schools that are in our community as well. So we're all very tied to Lebanon, and we care very, very much for the community as a whole. I waited as long as I did to run for council because I wanted it to be just the right time, mainly to be able to have the time to serve. I was, I'm not going to say voted, nominated to be vice mayor, which adds a little bit of time. I feel obligated, and it's a great obligation to go to as many things as that I can physically attend. I still work full-time, but the council comes first. I run my schedule through what the council offers, and I'm in a position to do that. So I'm happy to do that. But again, I thank Lebanon as a whole, the friends that I've made, the people that I've got to know, the communities, the businesses that I've been able to go into. I never would have had that opportunity if I wasn't elected, and I appreciate that very much.
Thank you. Councilman Lamoureux.
First of all, thank you to the chamber and to Judge Hubble for setting this up and officiating. Thank you for the timing team. Hopefully they bribed you with ice cream or pizza or something. I know this is really exciting. But no, I appreciate you guys coming out. I'm a Christian, pro-life conservative, 25-year small business owner, husband of 29 years, father of 4, soon to be a grandfather. I voted to lower property taxes, which I think is pretty cool. Especially in this inflationary timing. We've paid cash for equipment and property. We've retired debt early, paid off bonds early. We've invested in our roads and parks, and we're continuing to do that through grants and savings. And ultimately, I believe that my votes have helped improve our community standard of living. Early voting has started, and election day is November the 4th. I would appreciate your vote. I would count it an honor and a privilege to serve another 4 years with my colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Norris.
Thank you. I do appreciate the reference to and believe that the intent is serious with regard to the mention of lesser property tax and so forth. But the zillion-pound gorilla in the room is our development issue. Ohio is one of 22 states where school boards cannot assess impact fees on developers. We are in a reactionary period. Those of us who are far younger than me, with schools that are currently full, are looking at what's happening and knowing that we are going to soon have to bear up to the responsibility of new buildings. I, therefore, would be a council member who, despite master plans and despite what's already taken place, will be standing up for property rights. Those of us who are property owners and taxpayers in particular. I also say, with regard to the incumbents have made every effort to run as a group, even endorsing school board candidates. So therefore, I say vote just for me, please. I want to also slip in the fact that my wife is here, a 74 grad of LHS. I'm a 71 grad of LHS. 3 daughters went to Lebanon High School. 5 of our 7 grandchildren are going through Lebanon schools. And with that background, I will be constantly reminding those of us discussing the future of what we are doing with just go past Walmart and consider the multifamily units being built and all the children who will needing to go to school and a place to go to school. I have appreciated the evening and exchanging views with the candidates, and I thank you very much and would appreciate your vote, and just vote for me.
Thank you. And Councilman Sellers, your closing argument, please.
Well, first, I'd like to thank the chamber as well, and Judge Hubble. Even though you did try to skip me on that one question, I still forgive you.
You need a good staff. My staff isn't here.
No, it's been a fun evening. I always enjoy the opportunity to talk, to have some talking points. But 4 years ago, I took an oath to uphold the U.S. Constitution, the Ohio State Constitution, and the Charter of Lebanon. And that comes first before any other decision that I make, right? So no matter what comes to our desks, you've got to ask yourself, what is the proper role of government in this specific case, right? I believe the proper role of government is protecting its citizens, right? No matter the age or the race or the creed, you have to protect your citizens. And then you have to do everything within your power to improve the standard of living of the community and those citizens, right? So I think we sit up here and we talk about different talking points, but ultimately it comes down to not really who we are, but what we can do for the community. And so I've been honored to serve for 4 years this community, and tonight I ask for your vote again. And so I would be able to continue to have the honor to serve, in my opinion, the best community in America. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to personally thank all of the candidates for your time, the Chamber of Commerce, specifically our president, Chris Summers, who organized the vast majority of this event. That will conclude our forum tonight. I wish the best to each of you.
Thank you. I thought it was
Test.
Yeah. Testing.
welcome everyone. We are here with our panel. These are the men and women running for the Board of Education for the Lebanon City School District race. Just to let everyone know, we have sort of a race and another race within a race. We have two individuals, Jennifer Dalton and Esther Banta Larson, running for an unexpired term beginning January 1st, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2027. And we have 5 individuals running for 2 spots in a term beginning January 1st, 2026, ending December 31st, 2029. And those are Jesse Ellis Alvarez, Michael Gliotti, Roy McCutcheon, Ian McPherson, and Danielle Schultz. So first of all, thank you all for being here. We are going to start with opening statements, and we're going to move into questions to the individual candidates. All of the candidates have been provided with the questions in advance. They have not been provided with the order in which the questions will be asked. We are going to be asking these questions by alphabetical order, going across all the way down, and we are going to be starting our opening statement with Ms. Ellis Alvarez. You will have 90 seconds. What would you like to tell the voters?
All right, thank you. My name is Jesse Ellis Alvarez. I am a speech pathologist. I'm a public educator with more than a decade of experience advocating for students and families. I am a mother of 2 young children who are educated in the district. My husband is a full-time custodian for Lebanon City Schools. Running for school board is not just a casual undertaking for me, it's deeply personal. The success of the district is a personal undertaking for me. There's no secret that there's some challenges in the district right now, but I am not fazed by this. I am the type of person that runs towards the challenges. I feel that my experience and my education makes me a supremely qualified candidate to serve on the board. I would bring to the board collaboration, communication, and actionable plan. I would be honored to serve the district, and I look forward to explaining my plan to you this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate Jennifer Dalton.
Okay. Thank you for inviting me to this forum tonight. My name is Jennifer Dalton, and I would be honored to serve this community for another 2 years on the Lebanon School Board. Although this is not a partisan race, I believe it's important that you know that I am a conservative Republican. My husband and I have raised 3 children in Lebanon, and I've spent 16 years working in medical device sales for Johnson & Johnson before choosing to stay home. And I became actively involved with a lot of their volunteering within the schools, which is what brought me to the school board. My volunteer experience includes serving on school advisory boards, supporting teacher retention efforts and programs, participating in anti-bullying programs, and helping organize fundraising projects. I'm running for re-election because I believe that the education of our children is the foundation of Lebanon's future success. We must ensure that we deliver the highest quality education as possible using our resources wisely and always keeping the focus on student outcomes. I believe education in Lebanon should reflect the values and morals and ethics of the community, and I support transparency so that parents are fully aware of what kind of education their children are getting.
Thank you very much. Mr. Michael Gliotti.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Mike Gliotti. I'm really glad to be here. Thanks to the Chamber for having us. Thanks, Your Honor, for moderating tonight. I'd like to talk to you about investment tonight. I'd also like to tell you a bit about myself. I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a community member right here, obviously. I'm very, very proud to be the Vice President of the Board of Education right now. I was appointed, not elected, and I'm proud because of the product that we produce. We produce outcomes for our students. We produce outcomes for our staff, for our community, for our teachers. Our product is people. what a fantastic product. If we were a business, our product is people, and we're doing very well at it. My daughter is a product of Lebanon City Schools and the Career Center. My son is currently a sophomore in our high school. I'm a business owner here right in town. I'm a homeowner. I'm a taxpayer. I also want you to know that I invest in many ways in our community. I'm a volunteer. I volunteer with the Chamber. I volunteer in the classroom. I'll be in Mrs. Brooks, Mrs. Coleman's classroom next week talking to the kids. I'm looking forward to that. I announce at different events. I'm a sponsor here in the area. So this is an investment for me, and it matters to me, and I appreciate being here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Esther Larson.
Good evening. I am running for the 2-year unexpired term, and I grew up here in Lebanon. I live on land that has been in the family name since 1798. All but 14 of my years have been involved with Lebanon schools. First as a student, K through 12. I also taught here for 32 years. I mostly kindergarten, love my little ones. Was on curriculum committees. I was on the Lebanon Education Association president, and I was also a school board for 16 years, including the Warren County Career Center. I have 2 children, Nicole and Chad, who both went through Lebanon schools and are being very successful. I have 4 grandchildren that have completed Lebanon schools, and 1 more will graduate this year. I have 5 great-grandchildren that do not live in the district, but I would love to get them back here. Besides teaching, I was president of our family-owned business, J&E Pool Management, for 15 years before my husband and I retired. So my business experience has also helped me to be a school board member. I urge you to read about the candidates and not who they're with, but what they're about. I come to the meetings prepared. I always have enjoyed serving for the board, and I hope to be back. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Roy McCutcheon.
Thank you very much. First of all, it's great to be speaking to a room full of people this time. 4 years ago, we were coming out of COVID, and we did this to an empty room, and it was very odd. My name is Roy McCutcheon. I am running for re-election to Lebanon City Schools Board of Education. I was elected to the board for the first time in 2021. I have served 2 years as the board VP, and I am currently your school board president. That said, most people in town probably know me as the dirty guy that owns the Black Barn. My father retired in Lebanon from the military in 1972, and I attended Lebanon City Schools 2nd grade through graduation in 1983. I then went on to earn a Bachelor of Science degree in agriculture from the Ohio State University in 1988. I moved back to Lebanon in 1994 when I purchased the Black Barn. And my son attended Lebanon City Schools, kindergarten through 12. He was very active in athletics, sports, and the ROTC program. Currently, he is an FBI agent, and my daughter-in-law is also employed by the FBI, so I have to be very careful of things I say around him. I have 2 wonderful grandchildren, Ellie, who will be 4 in December, and Robbie, who just turned 2 in August, and he's redefining the meaning of the terrible twos. I have a very I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You told me to stop, Brian.
Mr. Ian McPherson, your opening statement, please.
Hello, my name is Ian McPherson. Like many of you, I care deeply about our community's future, and with that starts with our schools. Education changed my life. I was fortunate enough to attend a public high school with an engineering program, which gave me an early exposure to problem solving, teamwork, and creativity. That experience set me on the path to becoming a software engineer, and I want to bring those same kinds of opportunities to students right here in Lebanon. My priorities are simple. First, I want to expand elective STEM and engineering programs so students can explore real-world career paths. Second, I want to bring full-day kindergarten to support our community's parents and ensure every child starts strong. And third, I want to make sure that we stay fiscally responsible while keeping our schools safe and supportive for students and teachers alike. I believe in Lebanon schools are full of potential, and with thoughtful leadership, we can help every student reach it.
Thank you very much. Danielle Schultz.
Hi. Thank you again for having this tonight. Good evening. My name's Danielle Schultz, and I am a Christian conservative Republican. I'm pro-life, pro-family, pro-police, and pro-Second Amendment. My husband and I have been married for almost 34 years. We've lived in this community most of that time. We have 3 grown children and 5 grandchildren. One of them's on the way. My husband and I, we homeschooled our children for a number of years. We've also sent them to private Christian school, and all 3 of our kids graduated from Lebanon High School. So we've had a wide variety of experience in all different kinds of areas of schools, and a lot of viewpoints from each kind of parent. Before teaching in the public schools, I worked in a Christian ministry called Cru, formerly known as Campus Crusade for Christ. Some of you might know the extension of that called Athletes in Action in this area. I also helped my husband begin a homeschool basketball program for kids in our community. Started with 2 kids and developed it to 150 students. It's now called the Trailblazers, and it serves hundreds of homeschool kids in the area. I've been a special ed teacher for 23 years. I've worked with students with a variety of abilities and needs. Currently, I'm a teacher in Mason City Schools, and I'm responsible to collaborate with parents, service teams, teachers and paraprofessionals to meet the needs of children with all kinds of abilities. I don't take this responsibility lightly. I'm reminded often that whatever you've done to the least of these, you've done it unto me. Sorry.
Thank you very much. We will now begin our questions, and we're going to be starting with Jennifer Dalton. In your opinion, what are the biggest challenges facing the City of Lebanon schools? And as a school board member, what will you do to address those challenges?
Okay. The challenges that we face, every month we discuss the budget and to see where we are within and how many years we have until we have to go out to get what's called new money, which is a levy. So we take that very seriously in planning for the current year and years to come. We have a 5-year plan that we go on. And that was a strategic plan that also involved surveying the community on what was important to them. And we try to stick to that. And then we develop our action plan to best meet the needs of the students while at the same time keeping within our budget limits. So sometimes we have to shuffle around different classes and different programs. But we try to keep the quality of education at the forefront. But I would say that budgeting is always one of the biggest challenges. There's also discussion about property taxes coming in and coming down, which will have an impact on our schools, our public schools. And so we plan for that. And we try to talk with public officials to inform them of what our needs are in the City of Lebanon.
Thank you. Mr. Gliotti, same question. What are the biggest challenges facing the school district, and how do you plan to address those?
We've got 2 really big ones right now. Number 1 is the budget. I'll expand in a moment. The second is growth here in our district, in our area. Fiscal responsibility is one of the hallmarks of what I bring to the board. I like numbers, I like analyzing, but it's very important to me that our taxpayer dollars are protected and spent responsibly. Right now, our state and federal budgets are in flux. We have an issue with House Bill 186. As it is positioned right now, if it passes, it's going to provide an $8 million shortfall for the Lebanon City Schools over the next 3 years, potentially. With property tax, we need the state to help get the burden of the property tax off of our property owners. And we have got to reform that formula. How I look to solve this issue is I'm part of the Community Advisory Audit Committee. This is a finance committee that I've been involved with since '23. I get to see financial proposals and look at issues before they even go to the board. I plan to continue doing that. Our growth plan, I've got 10 seconds. We've got a facility utilization and enrollment study, and those results are pending. The good news for everyone is we've been as high as 5,800 students in our existing buildings. We only have 5,200 right now, and we are going to anticipate our growth and the impacts years in advance.
Thank you. Esther Larson, same question. In your opinion, what are the biggest challenges facing our schools, and what will you do to address those challenges?
Well, one of them, I think, goes back to the COVID era and the mental health of the students. They're still struggling. And we are working with Cincinnati Children's Hospital, and I hope that we would continue to do that. Another one, of course, with me being a kindergarten teacher, would be getting all-day kindergarten. But I also realize the space, the additional staff, and the additional resources that would require, and we have to be financially able to even consider that. The volatility of the legislature and the changes they keep making makes it very difficult for the 5-year plan that our treasurer is supposed to complete. And the other one, of course, is what city council members were all alluding to, is the housing development. And talking with the school treasurer, there are 1,600 new units being built within the Lebanon School District, and that does not include Otterbein or the other large development on 63. That's a lot of growth for our community. And I do understand that there's a facilities plan being looked at. I'm anxious to see the results of that. I'm sure you guys are too. But the growth of our community will be of utmost importance. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. McCutcheon, same question.
And I'm going to give the same answer. School finances and the rapid growth of our community is the big issue. In our studies, we are safe for a few years. We have room to grow and expand, but we know it's coming. I'm going to throw some numbers at everybody. The projects that Ms. Larson just mentioned, if we get 1,600 new homes put up, and let's say we have 1,000 new students, you're looking at a need of over $14 million per year to educate those kids, and you're looking at a new building, okay? So I'm thinking within 8 years, that's going to be the challenge that we have. We are starting to plan for that. The discussions are in place on which buildings can be updated to have more room. The work with the Ohio legislature, where they're changing things and changing this and changing that, makes it very difficult for us to plan. So I think the biggest thing we need to focus on is working collaboratively with city and county to control the growth and slow it down so the schools can adjust. Another issue I'm just going to throw out there real fast is misinformation about public education. Don't believe everything you hear. Public education is great. Lebanon City Schools is great.
Thank you. Mr. Ian McPherson, what do you believe are the biggest issues facing the school district, and how would you address those concerns?
Yeah, like everyone else here, my main concerns are growth and our budget. Lebanon is growing really fast, and that growth brings challenges from potential class sizes and facility needs to ensuring that we attract and retain our great teachers. One of my top priorities is expanding full-day kindergarten to better support our families and give every child a strong start. Early education pays lifelong dividends, and full-day programs make a real difference. We also need to plan proactively for growth and to also anticipate bills coming out of our state legislature. That means regularly reviewing space needs, investing in staff support, and maintaining open communication with families and our community. At the same time, we have to stay fiscally responsible and ensure our taxpayer dollars are used wisely. By planning ahead and keeping our focus on students, we can keep Lebanon schools strong and sustainable as our city continues to grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle Schultz. Same question.
There's a lot of talk about finances and those things, and those are all important. But I want to talk about kids for a minute. One of the big issues that I hear in Lebanon schools and many schools across our district, our county, are bullying in our schools. We have a lot of amazing teachers in Lebanon, lots of quality education that happens here. And I understand that, I believe that if you look at the culture, we need to return to a focus on service as opposed to self. We talk a lot about in our culture about it's about me, it's self-care, it's self this, self that, self everything. And until we return and focus on the things that matter for our kids, which is serving other people, we're going to have bullying in our schools. A second challenge facing our public schools is holding back the tide of liberal ideology and woke indoctrination. Those are things that not easy to talk about, but it's an important thing. I believe we must go back to the conservative values, focus on quality academics, which includes both workplace, college readiness, and life skills. We must emphasize caring for and serving others. This is a challenging endeavor, and exactly what that looks like, I'm not really sure. But the process will take some problem solving and some collaboration as we move forward.
Thank you. And last to answer this question, Jesse Ellis Alvarez, what do you think are the biggest issues facing our schools, and how do you plan to address those issues?
Thank you. One of the concerns that I have heard recently about Lebanon schools is that enrollment is down, and as we heard in the meeting, housing is up. I want to echo the concerns as well with the budget and what things are going to look like in the next few years. But I do want to voice my concern about enrollment down. Enrollment is down why housing is up, and I feel that there perhaps has been a bit of a lack of trust due to the COVID era and due to transportation struggles, due to a lack of support in the early education system and in the district. And what I want to do is I want to be able to reach back out to those families in Lebanon. I want to rebuild those partnerships with the families. I want to support them and support the option for a full day kindergarten and start to explore options for a full day pre-K, because investing in early education is always a solid investment. I would like to work with our partnerships in the community to start to build a career pipeline to support Lebanon staff and support a transition to fill these positions, because they are not just slots to be filled, they are opportunities for career growth and career investment into our district. Thank you.
Thank you. We will move on to our second question, where we will begin with Michael Gliotti. Mr. Gliotti, what curriculum does not currently exist in the school system that you would advocate for?
Our current state system requires 3 social studies credits for graduation. The standard government class right now is a half a credit, which is a semester. I believe, well, our AP students, our AP government students, they have a full year. They get one credit. So they're in government. They're receiving education and training on civics and government for a full year. I think all students should absolutely have 1 year of government and civics training. A couple years ago, 2022, a study showed that half of Americans couldn't name our 3 branches of government. Civic literacy, ladies and gentlemen, is national security. If you don't understand your rights, you're vulnerable to lose those rights. And I think it's important to give our students a full year. Being American is amazing. We have rights and freedoms like no one else. We've got to protect them. And I believe that a full year of civics and government should be the norm.
Thank you very much. Ms. Larson, same question. What does not exist currently that you think should exist in our school system?
Well, I tried talking with some of the teachers, also a couple of the administrators, and some parents to try and get what they felt was lacking in our district. A lot of them felt like life skills, like checkbook, everyday things, how to buy a car, what a credit card means, and the responsibility. Of course, I still believe in all-day kindergarten. That would be needed. But one area, and I guess it's because I served on the Warren County Career Board, and knowing that we turned away over 500 students due to lack of space and staff up there, that it would be good to expand some of the trades within our own school district, so students could stay at their own school half the day and attend a trade class in the afternoon, whether it would be carpentry or plumbing or electricity. Those students could come out of there with a business, and college is not for every child, and this would help to give opportunities for some of the other students.
Thank you. Roy McCutcheon, same question. What curriculum does not currently exist in the school system that you would advocate for?
We have a very broad curriculum, and we offer a lot of courses and study options for our students. But the one I would suggest is, like Mr. Gliotti mentioned, increasing our civics requirement and teaching government and how government works. And some simple things like, what is a PAC? What do local governments do compared to state and general assemblies and the national government? Things like the Bill of Rights. What does it mean, the First Amendment? I'm getting some music playing. Thank you. That's excellent.
Doing Facebook Live.
It was like, woo, do, 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 do. Yeah.
Very soothing.
But yeah, very soothing.
Band.
But
You were gonna say
civics and
band,
basics,
more music.
yeah, more music. I have adults ask me, when is election day? I did not know you had to run for re-election. You're already on the board. Just things that for us and the people in this room are pretty obvious, but I think for the most part, like Mr. Gliotti said, is people don't know that. One thing we do have to be cautious about is schools need to teach this and schools need to teach that. We have an excellent school board right now, and we would love to have all-day kindergarten. We would love to have all kinds of different programs, but those programs cost money and they take up space. So we have to be very careful about pushing for different curriculum things until we know we have the space to handle it and the money to pay for it.
Thank you. Ian McPherson, same question.
So our district's math and science scores show that we have room to grow. But there is an opportunity to inspire students to see the value in these subjects. I would like to create a multi-year elective engineering program that introduces students to mechanical, civil, electrical, and software engineering with a senior year capstone project. It would start with the fundamentals of engineering, like learning how to think critically and solve complex problems, and then moving into hands-on experiences in each of those disciplines. Programs like this make math and science come alive for our students. I know this because I was a part of a similar program in high school, and it completely changed my life. It set me on a path to a career in technology and gave me the confidence in knowing what I could achieve. By building a program like that here, we can help students discover their passions and prepare them for real-world success. Thank you.
Thank you. Danielle Schultz, same question.
I would agree strongly about civics and the need for history in our government. But I also want to go back to our students and how they are struggling in the area of bullying. And we have a great program that we offer after school called LifeWise. It's a curriculum that teaches character qualities. There's some schools around the state that actually offer that as an elective. It's not a bad idea. I understand those things take changes and they take time and they take sometimes money to make them happen. I also want to look at opportunities for service projects for kids to learn to serve. I believe that, again, in a world where there's so much time encouraging self-care and self-belief and you be you and speak your truth and do what makes you happy, that sometimes we lose perspective from other people. We don't understand where other people are coming from. And until we do that, until we help our students understand where the other kid's coming from, we're going to have struggles with the whole bullying issue. And as we serve, as our kids learn to serve, as they learn these character qualities, it in turn gives them deep joy and satisfaction from giving to others. The result would be likely less bullying, more kindness, more understanding, and better school environment for all.
Thank you very much. Jesse Ellis Alvarez, what curriculum does not currently exist in the school system that you would advocate for?
Thank you. I would like to see curriculum in the school that centered around understanding more of a hard science around neurology, understanding the brain, understanding hard science and hard facts, and understanding neurodiversity. Neurodiversity refers to understanding the different types of brains, understanding and different neurological profiles, which refers to autism, ADHD, dyslexia, and some of these neurological profiles that we see more and more in our students, in our communities, in our friends, in our schools. And this will promote understanding, and this is what promotes respect. This is what decreases bullying. This is what promotes inclusion. Neurodiversity means understanding and respecting and including people with diverse neurological profiles. This would include teaching empathy and respect and understanding diverse communication profiles. Neurodiversity is about teaching acceptance and understanding and belonging and recognizing that different doesn't mean less. It's also considered a hard science, which we could use more of. Thank you.
Thank you. Jennifer Dalton, same
Okay.
question.
Yes, our curriculum is assessed annually, and there are classes that we decrease and classes that we expand upon and change. I think that all-day kindergarten is something that our community wants. It's something that we want to be able to deliver. We are under some constraints with trying to balance the budget of adding it because of obviously the space within the buildings and also the extra teachers that are required for that. But that is one of our long-term goals, or not so far in the future, but that's the one thing that we are trying to do. Also expanding the career experience classes give students a real life, talking about life skills, experience. There's students that come in to high school or almost graduating and not knowing really what they want to do, whether it's go on for education, further education, or to go into the trades. And the career experience class gives them opportunity. And I've been to presentations to listen to some of these students that have decided to go into medical fields because of that, or maybe decided not to go into medical fields due to that. But it really helps them guide them into going into higher education if necessary, or perhaps going into a trade.
Thank you very much. We will start our third question with Esther Larson. And it was mentioned tonight about real estate taxes in the state of Ohio. And there's been much discussion and legislation introduced in our General Assembly about abolishing real estate taxes in the state of Ohio. Do you support this proposal? And if that is passed, what do you think the impact will be on our school system?
Well, I personally would love to have my income or my property taxes decreased. I'm retired on a fixed income, and my own taxes went up over $300 a half. However, the school funding was, in 1997, the state Supreme Court ruled that it was unconstitutional the way that the schools were financed. Nothing ever changed. The Cupp-Patterson bill to support public schools over 6 years ago is still not fully funded. So how would it affect us locally? 58% of our school budget comes from local resources. It would be devastating. 36% comes from the state, 6% comes from the federal. So it wouldn't be devastating just to the schools, but also to the communities, the libraries, the police, the fire. If an alternative can be developed to replace that, I think it'd be fantastic. But we need to come up with a plan and just not cut it off without any additional support for the schools.
Thank you. Roy McCutcheon, same question.
Well, I 100% agree that the school funding problem through real estate taxes needs to be changed. But I think first and foremost, a new system has to be designed first before they just abolish it. Let's put the blame where it lies. It's not on school boards, superintendent, treasurers, or your county auditor. It's the Ohio General Assembly. For 20 years of just doing things that did not support public education financially. So I don't like paying taxes, and I don't like paying real estate taxes. I'm going to share some numbers with you guys, just so you guys know how things have changed in Ohio. In 1991, school property taxes accounted for 46% of the money we operate on. Currently, we're 68% of real estate taxes funding education. Ohio is ranked 8th in property tax burden in the United States, while being ranked below 19th on how much the state spends per student. The system that we're on right now using real estate taxes is very unfair to homeowners, farmers, and it's just not a long-term solution. But I would like the Ohio legislature, our senators and representatives, to come up with a common sense program that works, as opposed to just defunding museums, libraries, and public education.
Thank you. Ian McPherson, do you support abolishing real estate taxes in the state of Ohio? And if that does happen, what do you think the impact will be on our school system?
I'll be blunt. I do not support abolishing property taxes. I completely understand where the frustration comes from. Many Americans today are living paycheck to paycheck, and families are stretched very thin. Many of our seniors are struggling to stay in their home. But this proposal, like many of the other candidates have said, would be absolutely devastating to our local community. It is how we fund our public schools, but it's also how we fund our police, fire, EMS, and city services. But we do absolutely need tax reform, and it needs to come from the state of Ohio. But we need to think carefully about the consequences before abolishing our property taxes. Eliminating property taxes without a clear replacement would leave schools and local governments without the resources that they need. As a board member, I also have a fiduciary duty to protect our schools and the students that they serve. I always want to support reasonable and responsible solutions that balance fairness for the taxpayer and the stability our community depends on. Thank you.
Thank you. Danielle Schultz, same question.
Well, this is obviously a decision that's not made within our, is a school board, and I would agree with a lot of what's already been said. Wouldn't we all love to have no property taxes? But in the end, we have to find, that has to be done only after an alternative has been put in place. We have to be thinking about how that's going to affect our community, what that's going to look like as we move forward. And it's a challenging issue, and there's probably a lot more questions than there are answers at this point. But we would need to answer, kind of move forward and answer those questions together and carefully consider what that would look like. Obviously, at this point, there's not a lot of black and white answers at this point, but lots of collaboration that would have to happen if that goes in that direction. Then we would need to make a decision of what that's going to look like for our school district to make sure that our needs are met and our kids' needs are met in our school district.
Thank you. Jesse Ellis Alvarez, do you support the termination of real estate taxes in the state of Ohio? And if that passes, what do you think the impact will be on our school system?
Yes, so I'm going to reiterate pretty much what everyone else has said, that everyone is feeling the crunch right now. And for some people, it's not just a pinch. For some people, this is detrimental. And I just want to say that I see you and I feel you, and I'm sorry that this is the case right now. People need relief, but this is not the answer because there is not a plan in place. The facts are, as it's been stated, that this is what funds the majority of K through 12 education, and there's not another plan in place. If this was abolished today, there would be a budget crisis. And until there's another plan in place, the property taxes have to continue. So, thank you.
Thank you. Jennifer Dalton, same question.
Okay. I'm not in favor of abolishing property taxes because the schools are funded by 68% of our funds come from property taxes. I think that this has come into light because there was such a dramatic increase over the past 18 to 24 months in our property taxes with upwards of 30% increase. So I think that the property taxes should closer match inflation, which would be a slower increase, and that would help things. The advantage of our schools being funded by our property taxes and not being funded by the state is that we have more local control of our schools, which I think is what we want here in Lebanon and Warren County, is we want to have some say in the curriculum that we have, in the administrators that we have, in all the programs. And so I think by having that closely related in how we're funded really helps have the schools that we want in our community.
Thank you. Last but not least, Mike Liotti.
Mr. McCutcheon stole some of my numbers I was going to impress upon you, but I too am not a fan of paying more taxes whatsoever. So let me give you a different number. So some of you might say, what if we imposed a sales tax and fixed the system that way? Some basic math showed that would be a 21% sales tax on everything you buy. Your $30,000 car is now $36,300. That's before your fabric protection, your sun protection, and all the other things they're going to sell you as well. Add 21% onto those too. We need to modernize the formula. Last week I met with Matt Nolan, our county auditor. He speaks to the legislature about this stuff. Did you know that if we took what the state collects in property tax and we said, okay, we're gonna double the income tax and we're gonna double the sales tax, that does not equal what we collect in property tax. So ending property tax as it stands right now, a quote from our auditor, would end Ohio as we know it. And our legislators need to be doing more to shift the burden off of residential taxpayers. Because even if you don't care about our schools, it would devastate our schools, it would devastate police, and it would devastate fire. And Ohio would not be the same. So we have to come up with a different solution.
Thank you. We will move on to our next question, starting with Roy McCutcheon. Why are you the best candidate to be on our school board?
I'm glad you asked me this first. I'm not comfortable with the best candidate at all. I'm going to give you some reasons why I hope you vote for me. I am from Lebanon. I attended Lebanon City Schools. My son and family members are all proud graduates of LHS. As an incumbent candidate in my race, I have 4 years of experience. I have served 2 years as the board vice president and 1 year as your current board president, and I'm a member of the Community Audit and Advisory Committee that works with our treasurer on all these financial issues that we've been discussing tonight. I've learned a lot. I attend many school board training courses. I listen and learn from my other board members, students, treasurers, teachers, not only ours, but from other districts. But the main reason I think I'm extremely qualified is I am involved beyond just attending one meeting a month. I attend a lot of events, sporting events, athletic events. I do a lot of fundraisers. Anytime the athletic department or any teacher needs something, they call me, I'll do it. I speak to classes, I donate money, I donate time. The kids know me, the staff knows me, the administration knows me, the community members know me. I am 100% invested. And if anyone ever has any questions about anything from tonight or any other time, call my cell number. It's 513-836-0055. Thank you.
Ian McPherson, why are you the best candidate to be on our school board?
Like Roy, I'm not the hugest fan of the phrase best candidate, but I bring something new to the table. I'm a younger I have a technology-driven perspective that focuses on the future. My professional background as a software engineer has taught me how to solve problems, manage complex systems, and think strategically. I also understand the growing impact of artificial intelligence on the future of our work and education. I understand how important it is for our students that they are prepared for the rapidly changing world that they'll graduate into. I'm also someone who listens. I'm not running to represent one group. I'm running to represent the entire community. My focus is on the best for the students, the families, and the teachers. I'll bring practical problem solving, transparency, long-term thinking into every decision I make. That's what sets me apart, and that's what I'll bring to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Danielle Schultz, same question.
Well, I've been a special education teacher for 23 years. I have an undergraduate degree in special education and a master's in curriculum instruction. I've fought for excellence for all students for all of my career. I understand the needs of parents and children and students alike, and teachers alike, rather. I also have experience in Christian ministry. I started and ran a business for many years, and I understand what it's like to be a stay-at-home mom. I've had my kids in all three types of schools: private, homeschooled, and public education. I've seen schools from, Lebanon has some amazing qualities and some great teachers, but with that in mind, we must continue to protect our kids and keep our parents' values and priorities in mind. We need to continue to push back on liberal agendas and woke ideologies that are creeping into our schools. I'm a Christian conservative who's ready to work on your behalf and not only assure academic excellence and fiscal responsibility, but to uphold and fight for your family values in our public schools.
Thank you. Jesse Ellis Alvarez, why do you think you are the best candidate for the school board?
Thank you. So again, I'm not going to say that I'm a best candidate, but I think I am a valued addition. I could be a valued addition to the board. Like I said, this is not a position that I would take lightly. This is a position that is very personal to me. I have two very young children who are educated in the district. We are here because we know Lebanon schools are good schools. My husband is a full-time employee at the school. Professionally, as a speech pathologist, I am able to have an educator's insight. I've been a public educator for more than 10 years, and being a speech pathologist, I have a master's of science from a medical college. I have a data-driven approach that brings solutions to the table and a clinical mindset that is solutions-driven. I value collaboration, and I believe in the best outcomes for students come from working together and diverse perspectives to serve the students of Lebanon. In the last 4 years as a speech pathologist, I've facilitated funding for more than 80 speech-generating devices for my students because I value students' communication so that they can find their own voices. I support self-advocacy and active listening for students and families. I've collaborated with teachers, administrators, and families to serve them the best, not the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Jennifer Dalton, why do you feel that you are the best candidate for school board?
Okay. I've loved serving on the board for the past 4 years, and I think that experience has really helped. Coming into the board, it takes a little time to get up and running to understand the procedures and understand and meet all the different people that are involved in administration. and understand what programs are involved in the schools. So I think with that experience, it helps me to still offer up fresh ideas and that are up to date. And I've served many positions on multiple boards. On this board, Student Achievement has been one that I've been on for 4 years, and it's given me great insight into what goes on in our schools and how our students are doing. I'm very interested and engaged. Quality education is really important to me, and I think that it's important to serving the people of Lebanon. It's what they want, it's what they pay for. And so every time I come into the board meeting, I'm just always looking for those things, like what can we do better? Because I'm probably naturally a competitive person, and I, as a member of the Board of Lebanon, want the best school that we can have. And I think that it's all possible because I've seen how dedicated our teachers and administrators are to serving the kids.
Thank you. Mike Liotti, why do you believe that you are the best candidate to run for school board?
I prefer what value do I bring also versus the phrase of the question, how the question is phrased. But I'm already serving. As Mrs. Dalton mentioned, it takes some time to get grounded in school finance in the schools. And after a few months, I can assure you I'm on task and I'm adding value, and I continue to, and I hope to continue. I started to write down that I don't have an agenda. That's not true, and that's not transparent. My agenda is the best possible outcomes for our students, teachers, staff, and community by making the best decisions I can. And so I take that very, very seriously. I have 30 years of management experience. I rely on that extensively, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more later. But I like leading. I like responsibility. The buck stops here. I'm accountable. If I make a mistake, I own it, I communicate it, I fix it, and I make sure it doesn't happen again. As far as communication goes, I push communication, meaning you shouldn't be waiting to hear what's going on. I push it out, and I respect the same. I like information pushed to me so I don't have to pull it. But my strongest skill that I bring, the strongest value that I bring to you is my relationship building and problem solving strengths. And I look forward to using those. Thanks.
Thank you. Esther Larson, same question.
Okay, well, my parents taught me that you're no better than anybody else, but you're just as good as anybody else. So I would like to think that as a school board candidate, I'm just as good as anybody else. I'm like Mike, I have no agenda other than I just want our schools to be the best possible. I would love to be one of the best in the state. And I know that we can do that. I went here myself. My kids went through this district. Most of my grandchildren have gone through this district. Most of my relatives have gone through this district. So I know the history of Lebanon. I taught 37 years, 32 were here in Lebanon. I value those years and the experience that I had with that. I've had 16 years serving on the Lebanon board. That gives me a lot of knowledge and insight. I also served at the Warren County Career Center board for those 16 years. I think that's just as important. I attend school events, and I still have attended them even though I've not been on school board. I went to the football game Friday night, double overtime, woo! I go to the sports events, the dramas, music, art, pumpkin drop, the Read Across America, Veterans Day. They're all just as important. And the other thing, I would be available. My phone number would be out there. My email address will be out there. And I put as many positive things on social media that I can. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That will end our question and answer portion. We're running up on time. So now we will go to the closing for each candidate. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to make their final pitch to voters in this forum, and we are going to start with Ian McPherson.
I'm running for Lebanon School Board because I believe our schools are the heart of our community. And when they succeed, Lebanon succeeds. My focus is on building a future where every student feels supported and inspired to learn. That means strong academics, safe and welcoming schools, and smart investments that prepare our district for future growth. I bring a new perspective, one grounded in technology, problem solving, and long-term thinking. I know how fast the world is changing, and I want our students to be ready for it, whether that means pursuing college, trade school, or a career right after graduation. I believe in working together, parents, teachers, administrators, and the community. They all play a role in shaping our school's success. As a board member, I will always listen, communicate openly, and put our students first in every decision. I'm not a politician. I'm a neighbor, a husband, and a professional who believes in the power of education to change lives. Lebanon is growing, our schools are evolving, and our students deserve leadership that looks to the future. I would be honored to have your vote in November. Together, we can keep Lebanon schools strong, innovative, and ready for the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Danielle Schultz.
As a Christian conservative Republican, I will listen to you. I'll partner with you as we educate our children with excellence. I'll advocate for you and your values and push back on those that violate your values. I'll be a voice to protect our children. I'll work to maintain fiscal responsibility and transparency with regards to our finances. I'll continue to work to solve our bullying problem in our schools with real solutions. I'll continue to problem solve and the current issues and those that will arise along the way, as they will. I'll pray for you as a school board. I'll pray for our children. I'll pray for our parents, and I'll pray for our staff. And we'll work together to make our education great.
Thank you very much. Jesse Ellis Alvarez.
Thank you. My name is Jessie Ellis Alvarez, and if you would like a board member that has experience in public school education, experience in collaboration and supporting students and families with an actionable plan, then vote for me on or before November 4th. My plan is simple: to support student achievement, to support and retain teachers and staff, and support and transparent and responsible financial governance. My name is Jessie Ellis Alvarez, and you can vote for me on or before November 4th. Thank you.
Thank you. Jennifer Dalton.
Okay, I'm going to summarize this, maybe 3 goals. There's probably more than that, but just to, 3 goals would be to address the needs of both our honor students and the students that need to close the gap. And those are mainly our younger students that we need to raise the reading and math competency scores. And the earlier we do that, the better they will be throughout the years. So that's important. Second, fiscal responsibility. Obviously, the citizens of Lebanon, they value education and they want the most out of it. So we need to always be analyzing that and adapting with common sense approaches to make sure we're getting the best out of our money. The other thing is community engagement. Listening to parents, teachers, and staff, they're all essential. We've used community surveys to gather input, and it's vital that we turn that feedback into actionable plans with clear accountability and measurable results. So ultimately, I feel that every student in Lebanon can achieve greatness through hard work and perseverance because our teachers, staff, and community work to achieve those results. I'd like to be a part of the process, and I'm asking for your vote on November the 4th.
Thank you. Mike Liotti.
I have so much more to say than 2 minutes can possibly allow, and I come from an Italian family, so I'll do my best, everyone. I would
We'll leave the camera on. You and Mr. Cope can
Thank you.
finish out.
Thank you. I would like to take a moment for a serious, personal, transparent statement that I was not going to make tonight, but I wrote it down when you mentioned neurodivergent and a couple of other things. My daughter came to Lebanon schools because she had neurodivergent disabilities. And I'd like to share that she was welcomed, she was supported, she was not bullied, and she's thriving. And she's now a third-year pre-med student at the University of Louisville, knocking it out. I heard bullying mentioned a couple of different times here. In my experience with children in our district, not that we don't ever have problems, folks, but these kids today use we much more than they ever use I. And they are all over service projects. And our staff is incredible and supportive and does not support bullying and other behaviors that you would not tolerate either. But what I really want to close with is this is an investment to me. It's an investment to you. That's why you're here or you're tuned in. Ask any of us questions anytime. If something seems outlandish, remember you have incredible professional teachers, incredible staff, incredible administration, superintendents sitting here today, and board members who care. We're here for the very best outcomes. I, too, want to echo that I want Lebanon to be the very best choice for your child's education and for this community. And if you vote for me, I will not let you down, and I'm asking your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Esther Larson.
First of all, thank you for the chamber for putting this on tonight, and for those who worked hard to put this together. Also, thank you for everyone that attended and that is listening online. That means a lot that you care that much. So take time to really read about each of the candidates and what our agendas are and what our purposes of running. The person that has the skin in the game. I have skin in the game. My kids are still here. I grew up here. This is my life. I love this town. I love this school. I attend all the events that I possibly can. I'm visible. I'm available. I'm approachable. This is truly all about the kids. It's all about education and for the best dollars that we can spend. And that should be our only agenda. This is an off-year election. Low voter turnout is to be expected, but the local officials are the ones that most affect our day-to-day lives. If you're going to vote, these are the ones that need to get out and mark that ballot. So make your vote count for who you really want that you think is the best to serve for our school district. I enjoy serving our community. I enjoy attending everything that the kids do. I would be available by phone and email. If you check, I have a video on Facebook if you want to know more about me, or just call me. My dad's mantra that he drilled into me was, leave your mark, but not a stain. That's what I would hope to do to continue on the school board. So I would truly appreciate your vote. And of course, always go Warriors.
Thank you. Roy McCutcheon.
Thank you very much. I'm going to start by saying that the boards that I have sat on with Ms. Larson, Mr. Gliotti, Ms. Cope, Mr. Lane have been very highly functioning boards, and we have a lot to be proud of. So I'm going to point out some of our successes. We entered into a bus buying program a few years back. We worked with an outside vendor, and we got an extremely low interest rate, but it was timed so the state would give us money to pay for 2 of those buses. Doing a little math, we figured out that the savings in fuel and maintenance paid again for 2 more buses in the first year and is still saving us money. We realigned our administration staff and reduced costs in our administration staff and moved that money into the classroom. Something else that probably most people don't know, we are now using a business model to do expenses in our building instead of a government model of tell us what you want, this is how much money, you get it. Now we have a 10-year financial plan where all the departments have to plan for what money they're going to need down the road, whether it's going to be new paving, new curriculum, new books. Everything now is designed in a business model, which I think is fantastic. We made some promises, and I made some promises, and one of them was school safety. 3 years ago, I heard a rumor about a grant for school safety. So I got on the phone, I called the Ohio Buildings Facilities Commission, spoke to the guy in charge of grant money, said, send me everything you have about this school safety grant. I printed it, took it to the administration, let's do this. We received a $400,000 grant on for school safety upgrades. And I'm gonna throw one more thing at you. Community trust is important. People know me. I think they trust me. First year I was on the school board, someone reached out and asked me questions about how we spend money. I answered those questions, and we received $225,000 from a local youth sports team that was used at the high school to redo the fields that the soccer team and the lacrosse team are now using, and we're also able to rent it to youth programs now to make money. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. McCutcheon, and thank you to all of the candidates on behalf of the Lebanon Area Chamber of Commerce. We do appreciate your participation tonight. That's going to conclude your portion of the program, and me. I want to thank our Executive Director, Janice Baker, who is hiding someplace. Thank you for all your hard work on this, Janice, and I wish the best of luck to all of our candidates. Thank you.